And we're back. Welcome back to another Practice Makes Perfect podcast. Your favorite Fortnite commentator here, MonsterDface, bringing you guys episode number 9. First off, I want to kick things off with saying thank you, boys, for checking out the episodes, downloading this thing, supporting us on our way up. The podcast just broke 2 million listeners. Thank you guys so very much for the downloads, man. Can't tell you guys enough how much we appreciate your support, especially us embarking on this new podcast journey. And today we have something special for y'all. As you can see from the title, we got a feature on, so we're gonna be jumping into that shortly. But before we get there, let's give the floor to the man himself, John W. Key Rush in the building. John, what's up, my brother?
What's up, family? I hope all my zero build legends are out there feeling good, feeling great. Shout out to the dad energy that is still in Fortnite. We just revealed the gender of our second child. She's gonna be a girl. So
Oh man,
send
so
the
many.
love. Send the love. And I love all our listeners. Love y'all.
Yeah, sick. John, the dad of many little ladies is just adding up here.
Yeah.
But let's jump over. Let's jump over to DJ. DJ coming back, of course, as always. What's up, my brother? We got some new tunes coming out from you
Yes,
today.
sir.
Thank you for that, bro.
Yeah, if y'all were tuned in a little earlier when we started the stream, got a little beat in there for y'all. So if you didn't catch it this week, you'll probably catch it for the next few weeks as well. So look out for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Live as always on the channel here when we do these. But now to introduce our special guest, hailing in from England, 22 years old, approaching almost 50,000 followers now on Twitch. And hey, he's a top ranked EU pro. He's up there, 11K PR, smashing on the homies. Let's talk to this guy right here. We got at Archie himself. Archie, what's up, my brother?
What's going on, mate? It's great to be here. Fantastic to be on the stream. This is the first podcast I've ever done, so obviously just going to wing it a bit today, but I'm excited, mate. I'm excited.
Man, look at you. First podcast ever, but not only that, you get to be our first feature as well. Almost like a historical moment for the Practice Makes Perfect podcast. So honestly, we appreciate you, man, for jumping in and getting ready to do this journey with us.
Yeah, absolutely no problem, mate. Let's crack on with it.
That's sick. That's sick. So, hey man, out the gate, we want to get to know you. Who is Archie? How'd you get this name for Twitch and who you are as a pro player? Like, where does Archie come from?
Well, obviously, like my name's Archie, and so originally actually I called myself Bot Arch. So there's Sajan, you see the guy on the chat. I used to play with him like 2 years ago, and my original name was Bot Arch, and I used to be TTV Bot Arch. I was so shit at the game back then. And then obviously I changed it to Archie FN, like Archie Fortnite and that. Managed to get partnered, mate, and then Twitch. I don't know how, but whoever had the name Archie on Twitch, just they got removed. Like Twitch removed them since I got partnered, and so yeah, I managed to get the name Archie, which is actually sick for the brand. Just get my name, you know. Yeah. Am I allowed to swear on it, by the way, or preferably not?
You do your thing, man. Or this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
you, brother.
yeah,
We want
yeah,
you.
yeah. No, I can be family friendly if you want, but
Hey, man, I'm not here to stop you. You have some fun. At the end of the day, this is for people to get to know you, man. And we want your most authentic self. And just talk about that. I mean, you kind of just briefly restated it there. You didn't expect to even get into Twitch and get partnered. Like, that's kind of
Mm.
crazy to me. Were you always into competitive games and titles? Like, tell me about like your first experiences with gaming in general. What got you into gaming?
Well, I'd say like right back in the day on the old PlayStation with my brother and that we used to play like WWE, Call of Duty, and I was always like trying to sweat out Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare 2, quick scoping, no scoping, shouting at people in the lobby chat, um, and like yeah, that is pretty much like my background in gaming is like Call of Duty really, which is kind of strange. Like in theory, I probably should be a Call of Duty streamer, like because of how much I used to play back in the day. But yeah, and then Fortnite came out at uni, and suddenly me and my mate just used to like crush a load of Fortnite, and that was the new game. We never really went back to Call of Duty. So yeah, that's kind of back. Yeah. No one really went back, and that was like the big thing. Everyone loved it. So yeah, that's my background in gaming really. I like competitive wise, I wasn't really competitive. Like, nah, I wasn't. I didn't really. I've never really had an idea of what I was doing playing any game really until actually playing Fortnite properly and taking it full time. Like even back at uni, mate, I had no idea what I was doing. You know, like coming top 1,000 in an event, like that just didn't happen for me. You know what I mean? And I'd always be like on like one of those people who make excuse like, yeah, like would have done well, but this that, and it's like, nah, you like I got fucking 5,000. Do you know what I mean? I was awful.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, Fortnite, is that your first, I guess, competitive title, like where you got in and you try to just really compete, and that happened by accident?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, well, the first time I can remember competing is when they first brought Arena out, and me and my mate like were loving it so much at uni. We stayed up to like 4 a.m. the first night playing Arena, and we were like, just one more game, just one more game.
Yeah.
Loved it. And then yeah, tried to play competitively. Had no idea what I was doing. You know, streamed on Twitch, but you know, no idea. Never really any proper aspirations to be a big streamer or a competitive player. Really, it was just a bit of fun.
How did you get to even become a streamer? Like what made you decide I'm gonna start streaming on Twitch. I'm gonna go for this.
Yeah, so my mate at uni couldn't play one of the cash cups, so he was like, "Oh, just like whack up a stream and I'll watch you." And I was like, "How the hell do I do that?" Like, I had no idea. So I signed up. I think I first signed up on Mixer, thinking that I would get
Oh no.
more. Yeah, yeah, I thought it'd be like
Oh.
I signed up on Mixer thinking I'd get more views because it's a smaller platform, so there's less streamers on it. But I didn't. I mean, obviously I got absolutely no views, but he watched me there and he watched me on Twitch. And I just used to stream like a solo cup every Tuesday. There used to be to him. It just used to be me and him in chat. Yeah, that was it, mate. Just a bit of fun at uni.
So when you would go live, you had no intention of actually just building it. It was basically just you and a friend. You were just like, dude, come watch it, and that's how you guys would connect.
Yeah, yeah, mate. Never. Yeah, I never had any. Yeah, never had any aspiration to be a streamer. I didn't. You know, I wasn't like making content and being like, oh yeah, I really want to make it or anything like that. I remember looking at big streamers like Kura, you know, at the time, he was on 60, 70 viewers, and I remember thinking, oh my god, like he's got all these people in his chat speaking to him, like that must be crazy. Um, and I did want to be successful playing Fortnite, but I never knew how to be successful. I had, you know, I just wasn't aware of the scene or anything at all, really. So yeah.
Yeah, as we get a little like deeper into it, I definitely want to come back to that question about like what do you think makes you successful nowadays, and like we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I kind of want to wrap this into a full circle then. So you started competing. At what point did you start finding success with your competing that you decided, all right, I'm going to continue to do this because now obviously you're streaming your events and you like to record it and get it all broadcasted. But like, at what moment did you realize, okay, this is kind of what I want to do, and I want to get better at this?
Yeah, well, it was obviously after I killed Nick in his cup. Like, so I basically I was playing like you know I was actually about to get off. I was streaming like box fight for money, you know, like little 2v2 wages and stuff. And my mate was like, "Oh, go play the Nick A30 Cup," and I was like, "Mate, I'm exhausted." Like, it was like it started at 9 and finished at midnight for us. And so I was like, mate, and he was like, just play first half hour of it. In fact, I missed the first half hour of it. He's like, mate, just play half hour late, see how you do after a few games. If not, just get off. And that was it, mate. I accidentally won back to back games 9 and 10. Come
What?
20, yeah, yeah. It was
What was the format of the cup? Give a little bit more
it was like
context
the
for the
biggest
people.
placement, yeah, like 1 point a kill, 50 points a win, or something like that. It was like really placement heavy, which wasn't very familiar back then.
But
And
that was
obviously they
kind of
do
like
more.
your play style at the time, right?
Yeah,
Or
I hadn't. Yeah, I mean, I had no idea. It was when Stark was in the game. Stark, you know that
or
that big
yeah,
gap,
yeah.
and I landed there and like somehow accidentally killed some bloke off spawn and just won it like randomly. I got so lucky, mate. Like genuinely so lucky. And then in endgame, I hit like I impulse randomly, basically landed in the back pocket of the guy on height and killed him, right, shaking everywhere. And I was going, oh my god, I'm gonna qual, and basically qualled. And then yeah, so that was like my first bit of success. Um, and and but I was still shit at the game. Like I was awful for
So,
months after that. Awful.
all right, but so then you killed Nick A30 in his own tournament. Was it at the same day, like during your qualification run?
Yeah, so that was so the qualifiers were 9 till 12, and then the finals were like 12:30 till 3:30 in the morning. So I just scooped up coffee, sugar, just quickly swirled it around and was down in that. Um, yeah, that was a late one.
Man, that's kind of crazy. So through all that, did you find that like your chat started to grow, or like your community began to grow, more attention was on you, and then ultimately was the deciding factor? Like, wait a second,
Y-
I actually have some people here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I had never seen anything above 10 viewers really, and if I had 10 viewers, I'd be going, "Oh my god, there's 10 people in my chat."
Right.
I went up to 2,700 viewers on that
What?
stream that night. Yeah,
Whoa.
and I couldn't read anything in my chat. Like it was just crazy. And then I tweeted out an apology video, and then I went live after that, and everyone quite liked the apology. Like they seemed to like accept it, kind of thing. Which at the time I was just at uni and didn't give a shit really, and it was just a bollocks apology. You know, like typical like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, like didn't really mean it. And then yeah, went up to like for a good few days after that because of the YouTube videos being made on it. My Twitch was getting like 800 followers a day. You know, go
What?
from yeah, and I went up to like 6,000, 7,000 followers in 3 or 4 days, and I was streaming. And I mean, I made my uni degree took a bit of a hit because I'd get on every day, I'd be like, oh, I've got to go live, like just go live. I was playing arena, and I just, I had 30, 40 viewers, and I had like from that, I had like a 30, 40 viewer average, and people really enjoyed watching me. And like I would speak to everyone, and I loved speaking to everyone in chat. Like just speaking and just interacting with them, and that is how it started um, at uni, yeah. And then, but it still, I didn't want to go full time from there. It was like I still had like 7 months of uni left, and yeah, and I just consistently kind of ticked away at it.
So I was just gonna say, like, it's kind of wild to me to think that like Nick A 30's community, the nicest guy like on the platform, arguably was the community that was being like almost toxic towards you because you killed their favorite streamer, like, and then
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
forced this whole situation to go down. Um, I mean, I'm happy it worked out. So I guess, did you ever finish school? Like, do you have a degree from
yeah.
university? Like, how's that all
Y-
looking like?
Yeah, so I got a degree in maths from the University of Exeter, which is in the southwest of England. I don't know if you know it.
Okay.
But yeah, I did finish that, and I streamed every day. I literally streamed every day. Um, and like I mean, like the thing is, it was in lockdown, so like I would wake up, my PC was next to my bed. I do online Zoom calls with maths lecturers, and I'd have to do maths. And then 2 o'clock would come around, I'd be like, ah, fuck it, all right, get up Streamlabs, like go live. And that was basically my life for a good few months, just going live every day.
I mean, that people don't understand like how much work goes into streaming. I think there's a misconception, right? That you're just playing games, or you know what I mean? You're just talking to chat, like this is all easy. What, like, how would you rate your experience being a streamer? Like obviously that's a lot of hours. That's a lot of mental, right? That has to go into like finishing class. You probably want to sleep or just chill, but you're like, no, I got to go live. Like I'm gonna put in some work.
Yeah, yeah, especially at uni, I had to sacrifice like possibly going to the gym a bit, sacrifice a bit my work as well. If I wanted to sack off a few lectures, I just and like I started a thing where I'd go live at 11 o'clock in the morning and do a gym stream from my room. This was like peak lockdown times. And everyone remembers I had a set of dumbbells and a bench, and I just did everything with it. Like I was like overhead press, doing squats, deadlifts, whatever I could. And they started to really affect my uni work, like the amount of hours I was putting in. The idea was that I'd train from 10 to 11, then I'd do work from 11 till 5, but it just didn't work out, mate. And it is, like on top of the hours you've got to do streaming, there's so much other stuff to it. Tweeting, answering DMs, meetings with people, orgs, stuff like that, which wasn't as prominent as uni. At uni, pretty much I just streamed, didn't care. But when I come home full time, there's just so much to it.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, I've definitely been there where it just starts to ramp up, and then all of a sudden you realize, like, bro, like I'm putting all of my time into this, and I almost one, I can't not stream because you know what happens when you don't stream. You start to lose viewership, and it's like a dude, it can go downhill so fast, and
Mm,
it's almost like you
yeah.
work extremely hard to get there, and then you want to do everything it takes to kind of hold on to it. Um, what would you say would be like the biggest obstacles you had to overcome throughout that entire transition or that period? Was it just putting in the energy to actually finish university? Was it more so now trying to like maintain it and upkeep it? Like, at what do you think has been the, just as a whole, even in today, like what's the biggest obstacle when it comes down to being a streamer for you right now?
Uh,
Like that could even be like the social pressure of like trying to
yeah.
maintain like professional gameplay. Like, what is it that you feel like right now is probably like the biggest thing that
There
people
are.
don't really get to
I
hear about?
think. I think so. I think the first thing if you want to be a streamer, the first thing is consistency. Like you said, if you stop streaming, your viewers go watch someone else, and then they have a decision to make when you come back. You know what I mean? Are they going to watch you, or are they going to watch this other person? That's how I vision it in my head. That is the first difficult thing. But luckily, I'm now full time, and I don't really take days off of streaming. Very rarely. If I take a day off, I always tweet on Twitter what I'm up to. Like if I'm going out, if I'm going out with mates or if I'm doing something, everyone, I'm like, it's like it's 7 days a week, isn't it? But now I would say my biggest obstacle is realizing that I can't put all my eggs in one basket and have, yeah, great, I've got 50,000 followers on Twitch, good community, but that doesn't make me financially stable.
Mm.
If I get banned from Twitch, all I have is Twitter, So now the most difficult thing is kind of like getting onto Instagram, getting onto YouTube, getting onto YouTube Shorts, getting onto TikTok, and keeping myself relevant on 5 different platforms. You know what I mean? I think that is the difficulty in streaming, especially when when you get a step up from me and you have a few 100,000 followers. You can afford to pay someone to organize the whole thing, which is kind of what I'm trying to do now. Is what I'm going to be spending a lot of money on. But that definitely is one of the biggest struggles. Is trying to stay relevant on probably 5 different platforms. Yeah.
People really don't understand that that's almost the success to the longevity, right? Is you like you said, you start finding success, but if you want more success, you have to even do more. And every platform requires like more dedication, more time, more finesse. People don't even realize like TikTok content or even Twitter content. You have a successful Twitter. Like Twitter's just different. Like Twitter, people just feed off of like almost drama, right? Like it's
Yes.
a very particular type of way to grow on every platform. And people don't understand that. H- How many? So I guess I'm gonna put it like this: when did you start streaming? How many years have you been doing it now?
So November 2019, I started streaming. Then November 2020 is when I killed Nick, and I went up to like 30 average viewers. And
When I
then ever
killed Nick.
since then, yeah, yeah. And
So
then ever since then, it's like every day from streaming from then.
so you're not even technically like 2 full years doing it yet.
No,
And
no,
to
not at all.
me to me, it's actually incredible that you already recognize and have noticed like, "Oh, I gotta do these things if I wanna stay relevant or stay successful or get to the next level." There's people that stream for years and they don't even it never clicks that these are the other things that kind of will make you successful or separate you from the pack. And I think that's probably the reason why you've grown so fast like you have. Because yeah, whatever, like a chance occurrence helped you get that initial start. But anyone can get that 30 viewer bump or whatever. Not many people are gonna take that to hundreds, if not thousands, like you have. So you definitely have something special. Like how many people on average do you stream to nowadays?
I think about 400 average at the moment. That over like the last 30 days, but like that's like I stream every single day, So like, in tournaments, it's not rare to see me at 600, 700, 800
Right.
views, depending on how well I'm doing. So yeah, that's kind of what we're at, and it's amazing. Like I remember at uni, like my last game of Cash Cup, I had 85 viewers, and I was like shitting myself, going fucking like 85 people
Yeah.
watching me. You know what I mean? Like it changes like that. And yeah, it's all hard work, consistency.
So I don't know if you ever thought about it this way, Archie, but when you have, 400 people, 500 people in your chat, that's like a full auditorium worth of
Hey.
like literal viewers sitting at home. Like, and 400 viewers, guys, it's not just 400 viewers. It's actually thousands of people coming in and out because, I'm only going to watch for 5, 10 minutes and then, I'm going to jump out and I'm going to come back. Like, think about that. Like, that's hundreds of people doing that round the clock. So to have like, to maintain like hundreds of average viewers, it's actually thousands of people that are checking you out on a day to
Yeah,
day. So
yeah,
it's
absolutely, yeah.
it's actually wild. So at what point did you go full time? Are you currently full time? Like, is live streaming like your bread and butter? This is it's it right now?
Yeah, yeah, fully. So I finished uni in June last year, and I had 50 average viewers. And I explained to my dad, right, that like I currently have 80 subs, and if I can get 1,000 subs, then I get like 2 grand a month, and it's enough to live off.
Wow.
And that was
Right.
so naive. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
so naive of me. Like I had no idea. Do you know what I mean? And I was like proper worried, and I went full time, and I now, have realized that actually a lot more of your money comes from brand deals and org stuff and sponsorships. rather than relying on subs, which is actually quite nice. So I'm not begging my chat for subs, even though
Exactly.
I beg them all for subs, but
Same thing
but yeah.
for artists and musicians. A lot of people think that they get their money from their record label, their deals. That's not the case. You're gonna get the money from your sponsors, tours, merch, stuff like that. That's where you're
Yeah,
making your bread
yeah,
and butter.
and it's about branching out and having that network.
Yep.
Like there are a good few streamers in EU that are probably a similar size to me. Around about that that could and we're all technically competing for those sponsorships. So it is just a competitive network, and you have to. It's about who you know, really, rather than it's about who you know. To be honest.
Yeah, I was
Have you
curious. I was gonna
Go ahead,
ask.
John.
Just speaking of obstacles, and all three of us live in America. I know here in the States, it's getting a little bit more socially acceptable. Like there is
Hang on, John. Hang on,
what?
John. We got something going on in the chat right now.
Whoa, 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 what?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Man, we just got
Oh
rocked with the
shoot,
Vino raid. That's
Vino!
Thank you, bro. Thank you so very. Yo, shout out to Archie, man. He
There you go.
Vino. This is Vino's homies right here. You wanna give him a little shout out, Archie?
Yeah, well played. Yeah, well played. Thank you, Vino. How did he? Anyone know how he got on? Anyone know in chat how he got on? Did he end up winning or what?
Vito's competing right now, guys. For those of you guys listening at home, so I'm assuming his tournament just ended and he just slammed all the viewers into here. 86 points, going fifth into last game. Not
Dang.
bad.
Ah, rough. Okay. Well
Oh,
played, mate. Well played.
hopefully you got a top 10 pulled out of that. But yeah, John, you're kind of diving into like some deep stuff there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I love like understanding what someone had to go through to get where they're at, because I think a lot of times people only think about the forward progress instead of the obstacles that they have to kind of like plow down. And I didn't know if like from in being like culturally in England, your experience, was your family supportive? Is there like a natural momentum to doing this? I know like when I was in high school trying to pursue esports, it was very unheard of. Now 13 years later, it's starting to catch on more. Did you have any like personal like relationships or just cultural conflict that kind of made it difficult to grind and rise up like you have?
Yeah, I mean, if like COVID helped it a lot, really, because at uni, I was out all the time with with my mates, out all the time, and I was always doing stuff in the gym, out, and obviously COVID kind of allowed me to do this. But as in terms of like issues and supportive parents, like my parents, couldn't believe it. Like I remember calling my dad and being like, "Look, Dad, look at this YouTube video of me," and stuff like that. But they don't really understand it. And like before, they have had issues with me gaming and like need to get on with my work and. Um,
Yeah.
but my mates love it. My mates are very supportive. And my parents, like, they were very supportive, and they said, "Yeah, go full time, give it a year." Um, and so I'm kind of lucky in that respect. But the first, like, when they started to actually understand it is when I went to DreamHack in Sweden back in
Mm-hmm.
November, and they watched me compete, and they kind of started to understand,
Yeah.
a bit about Fortnite, not loads, but a little bit about watching it, about like the fans, about the viewers, about how and
Just the
like
scene in general.
yeah, and the network of people that I was with, and my mum now follows me on Twitter and has and understand, she knows like a
Yes.
few people, and like yeah, and then that is where it becomes really supportive,
Does
and they
does
love
that
it, yeah.
change? Does that change how you tweet now? Because your mom follows you on Twitter.
Great
No,
question.
mate, not at all,
Uh,
not at all.
That's
Hey,
hilarious.
listen, I gotta ask, man, because like, yeah, I feel like if my parents are following me, I'd probably be more cautious. I will say this: my dad and my mom did not support me at all
Wow.
jumping into gaming and esports. They didn't understand it, and where I come from, like we grew up just honestly without much, like super poor. Um, I had a job, like a regular job, and like, bro, where I'm from, like, if you got a job, like, that's a really, really big deal. Like, you have some kind of income that is legit. They thought I was crazy leaving my job to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
full time. I was also naive like you. I was like, dude, I got 200 subs. Well, if I go full time, I'll just have 400, 500, and I'll be okay. Um, Luckily, it did work out for me that way, but I did realize that is not how this works. And it took me much longer because I started doing this 10 years ago. So back then, there was even less sponsors, less
Yeah,
people watching this. It was very, very hard. And I was stupid to think it was just gonna work out so easily. But I feel like I almost feel like I'm looking at an accelerated process, like because, like you said, the pandemic and stuff kind of sped things up, and it's given so many more people like this opportunity to really take this serious and go for it full time and then find success. And I feel like you're finding success so fast, and you're so much smarter than I was like when I started. Like straight up, it took me 5 years to figure out, dude, I need to just go get sponsor money. Like, what am I doing
Yeah,
over here?
yeah.
Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
There's a,
And
there's
that's
a lot more information available now though, like than there was 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like now, there's everything's on YouTube or TikTok or everything. It's quite straightforward now.
Do you have any mentors in the space that kind of like help you with
Great
these like
question.
little nuggets like
Yeah.
that you've kind of picked up? Because I feel like I said, I feel like you know so much in such a short period of time that like you could talk to a lot of other Fortnite players and stuff. Dude, some of them tweet out the craziest things. They do not understand that this is their brand and like this is
Yeah,
their
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they literally burn bridges, bro. I watch it all
yeah,
day long. And that's why like I'm almost like the dad of the community. Like I yell at them. I know they hate when I do it sometimes, but I call people out because I'm like, bro, you're not doing this right, like at all.
Right.
Like you're
yeah,
so far
yeah,
from doing it right. But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
And
do you have
and
any mentors?
I have some. So there's a lady called Anne, and she's like she's from Norway. She basically used to be like the biggest blogger in Norway and kind of a similar stuff, social media, Instagram, Snapchat, all of that kind of stuff. And she basically um, kind of liked my stream at uni, and she really helped me out, like even if it was just telling me about an experience she had. And she ended up being right about so much stuff
I bet.
that
Wow.
happened. And like, brands are going to say this to you. People are going to say this. This is how you need to tweet. This is how you need to hold yourself. This is the email you need to send. You need to be contacting brands. You need to be posting on TikTok. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. Don't say that on stream. Do this. Do that. And honestly, the advice that she has given me is a decent, part of the reason that I am here today. Genuinely, like it was unbelievably helpful. And aside from her, I've also had a guy called Josh Viney, who is like, he's in Guild now managing. He's like a academy scout manager, something like that in Guild. He's given me a lot of advice along the way, and I've just recently signed with an agency, and they're fantastic with content. They're like really really switched on with it, really organized. So that's like that's given me an extra boost. But before that, this lady Anne was pretty much like just spot on with everything she said. So informative, so helpful. Yeah,
And shout
Yeah.
out, man.
Yeah, shout
yeah.
out
Shout
in.
out Anne.
Shout out to Ann. See, people, that's the thing, John. Like people, I felt like you were gonna jump in there, but people just don't understand. Like
Yep.
you could just tell, like someone like Archie is definitely thinking different. You kind of maneuver different. That's why I'm happy I got you on here because I feel like you speaking about it is gonna influence and inspire other people in your position. That like you could be edgy, you could have fun, you could have a dope community and be yourself, but do it the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and what you were saying before about people burning bridges and that, I think there's like there definitely is a certain level of immaturity of, like people who haven't necessarily worked and just, take the money for granted. Like Vino, mate, honestly, has no idea what he's doing. Like he doesn't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I used to work on site and mix concrete, and get, work in the rain. I remember like working in the rain once, clearing out someone's garden, and it was like 400 like tubs of dirt I had to put on my shoulder and go in the skip. And by the end of the day, I couldn't put my hands above my head. My
Wow.
fingers, my hands were all worn out, and I was absolutely exhausted. And I got 80 quid for that. Do you know what I mean? So then going from that to being able to sit in here and do a sponsorship for £800, it's in perspective, Whereas Vino has no real idea of how the world works.
I'm in a
I
very
mean,
similar situation because when I'm not doing that, I'm out cleaning gutters, getting on ladders, working my tail off, but then I can come and do something like go on a tour and DJ and have the ability, to do something the way I love it. And I think you bring so much value to the community because, you've gone to school. You're a little bit older than these younger cats and they're even though some of them maybe have a bigger following, longevity wise, they're learning a lot from you. So,
Yeah, well, yeah, I hope so. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
so
the best hope is that, like, there's always a saying, and I think it's true, right? You got to learn from your own mistakes. But I feel like the people who have like big growth, like yourself, Archie, you learn from someone else's mistakes. And it's like, I'm just of the belief that not everyone has to learn through failure. You can learn through someone else's failure and through someone else's success.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I actually do look at people who used to have a load of viewers, and I kind of go, right, what happened there? Because I'm in the same position they were in, and what went wrong. And usually, it's always comes down to consistency. Like people, the main thing is people stop streaming and they fall off. Like that's it. Or yeah, basically that is kind of what I figured out. So I make sure that I just stream every day, no matter what I'm doing.
Yeah, even if it's like you said, just to kind of show up, say what's up, or like you said, maybe include like some of that IRL component, right? Like hitting a workout stream. Like, I literally don't want to play games today, but I want to work out. I could make a little bit of content out of this, and your audience will appreciate that. Even if you don't even get the same big viewership, that helps keep that retention, which I
Yeah.
think is super important. And allowing your fan base to kind of see that other side definitely makes a difference. I mean, even jumping on this podcast, I'm sure a lot of people are learning more about you and probably thinking like, "Hey, man, this guy's got a brain on him, and his journey was, something that maybe they didn't get to hear so often." I wanted to ask you, looking back now, is there anything you would have told yourself when you kick things off, like jumping into this, maybe to, shape yourself to be even better than you are today, or maybe some problems or issues you could have avoided? Like, what would you tell yourself back then? Almost just like kicking it off, like 3 years ago,
Yeah, well, obviously I never planned to do this,
right?
but what I haven't made touch wood. I haven't made any huge mistakes. I think one thing is probably getting on the TikTok grind earlier would have been good for me, um, because you could post like 6 TikToks a day if you can make the content. Like anyone can be big on TikTok nowadays, and you don't
Right.
really realize it until you kind of start using TikTok. And like if I didn't do Twitch, and I probably would try and do full-time TikTok, and it wouldn't be gaming. I would try and brand myself as a person there. So that is probably one thing that I would have gone back and I'd done, like, get on TikTok, six TikToks a day, grind, plan it all out. Like you can make 100 TikToks a week and you will grow massively. You put in more work than anyone else, you will grow as long as the content's good. So that's
So
probably yeah.
what do you think stopped you? Like if you had to like backwards like process, like what hindered you? I know for me when TikTok first came out, it was so dance heavy, is like how it felt, and that's just super not my vibe or my space. But I let that psych me out instead of figuring out how to use my gift and put it on a new platform. For you, was it something similar? Was it just not scaling the team like you said, or what do you think held you back?
Right, mine was my brain would go crazy trying to think of, like, right, yeah, I'll start TikTok, right? But then my brain goes, yeah, what about YouTube? What about Instagram? What about Twitter? What about this? What about that? And like and trying to think of all these things at once actually fucked my uh productivity up, probably. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you're that size, stop caring about having to post on YouTube, and having to post on Instagram, or choose one. That is probably it. Do you know what I mean? Like my brain was like trying to just do everything, and it just was like a mental blank. I didn't have time at uni. But when I got home, the same thing. I was trying to edit my own videos, and then I was trying to edit my own TikToks, and eventually and then like I would have no time to myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas now it'd be like, right, okay, do your 6 hours of Twitch stream, come off and make 3 TikToks. Do you know what I mean? Like, and focus on that. I mean, now I pay people to do it, but back in the day, yeah.
What about YouTube? Are you currently pursuing growth on YouTube as a platform?
Well, obviously YouTube's like a long, hard grind. I haven't found my niche there yet, and I'm kind of relying on my Twitch to obviously pick it up. And I used to post on YouTube quite a lot, but it would take me like 3 hours to edit a video, then make a thumbnail. Do you remember? Do you remember that tweet? Do you remember the tweet where I took
Yeah.
Nick 30's thumbnail and put my
Yeah,
face
that
over
was
it? Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. So like I just was just doing it any way I could,
I
and
forgot
then
what
like
I tweeted there, but I basically had to
yeah,
pull your card out there. I was
yeah,
like,
you
"Yo,
did
what
that.
is this?"
Yeah. You can't be doing that, Archie, or something with a lot.
I think that's what it
Yeah,
was. I was like, "Arch, you cannot be doing this, bro." Like
yeah,
like like
yeah. That was
and
good.
I'm only gonna use this as a why, guys. Just think about it like this, and this is you would be probably upset as well. Like if you paid an editor like $50 or $20 to make a thumbnail, and then people go and recycle it or whatever. That's how I met my first editor, by the way. He showed me a thumbnail, and it so happened to be my own thumbnail I created, and he just stole it and he used it on another guy's channel. And I was like, "Yo, you can't do this. Like, what are you doing?" And then from there on, we became really tight. He became my personal editor, and I schooled him through everything that he knows today. And now we run a media business together, Movement Digital. So it's crazy how that path went, but that was
Yeah.
hilarious when I saw that. I was like, "Yo, Archie's crazy. He's just trying to get his content out."
That's
It's
funny.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, yeah. Well, it was like it was actually right as the new season came or the new chapter. And like I had a Photoshop pack of stuff, and there was nothing that I had in the new chapter. Like I was going on Google and trying to do like the little thing that selects the object in the thing and delete the background. I couldn't
Yeah.
get anything to look good, so I just nicked this, but just waxed my pen over it and just made it massive.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
actually hilarious.
yeah.
That's so
Sorry, yeah. Now for YouTube, now for YouTube content, I've signed with an agency who are going to organise the whole thing for me. It's very expensive, but I think it's time to just invest massively in it. To be honest, so yeah,
I mean, at this point, you definitely understand that, like I said before, every platform it just takes its own finesse, right? And you put a little energy into it, and you start to learn it. You'll definitely find success there. And like I said, the fact that you already have that momentum on Twitch, like that is big. I wish I could dig deeper into what you said about looking at channels that basically went through a decline and then figured
Mm.
out,
Yeah.
what you picked up from that. I know you said a lot of it is consistency, but I feel like there's definitely more there because we've seen people remain equally as consistent, but not necessarily find growth. And I'm not gonna call anyone out in our scene because there's a couple people right now that are still actively trying to work hard, but they're not growing. They're actually going backwards. I want to say I want to spin this in a positive direction, I guess, is what do you think allows your channel to continue to grow? Although you haven't really changed your content, like you've been doing somewhat of the
yeah,
same thing, right? You're playing professional, you're definitely, still doing some IRL stuff and you're kind of evolving your content. Um, but what do you think? Yeah, what do you think it is for
yeah,
your channel right now that's working best for
yeah.
you?
Right. So I had a deep think about this back at uni, and I would always. So what I found is that people on Twitch love new stuff. Like if I tweeted out, and I was doing something totally new, like I don't know, I'm well, I don't know. What could I be doing? For an example, I'm in the gym. Not my home gym, but I'm in a new gym. And because it'd be a new gym, like a mate's gym or something, more views would come in. Or if I tweeted out like, right, I'm in London and I've gone live or something, and you get loads of viewers in. So people love new stuff. So I kind of took that idea and I don't have the same webcam overlay for more than like 3 months to keep it fresh. And like I think I could be bollocks in here, right? I could be just be waffling, but I think every time I pay for like a new webcam overlay, it's something small, but it's like just a bit of a refreshing difference. You know what I mean? Like you tune in every day to exactly the same thing, and it can get boring. So there's like a few ways that I try to change my content up a bit or keep it fresh. So new graphics, um, that just make your in your brain you just feel that looks fresh. That looks a nice update. A bit fresher. Next thing is a slightly different stream. So like in uni, I had the gym stuff, and then obviously going on a night out on stream. I've done cooking on stream as a one-off, and it's just about keeping it fresh and keeping an interest in your content. It's very
Small
difficult.
things. The small
Yeah,
things really do
yeah,
matter.
yeah. The small things. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no,
Yeah,
for
the
real.
small things. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
agree
yeah,
with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you, and I almost want to just reinforce that. Keep that up. That's definitely, I think, a secret recipe that people don't understand. Back when I was doing full time streaming, I was successful at it. That was one of the biggest things. I would do a paint night. I would invite audience to like just do stuff like that, and then I would do like a night where I'm just like lecturing people, or a night where we're gonna have like horror game night, and then like every Wednesday for like maybe 2 weeks or three, every other week we play like a scary game on stream, and you make almost like an event out of it.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
something that people don't realize. I feel like almost like streamers realize it too late. And I think they go about it almost the wrong way. They think, "Oh, my new needs to be I need to play a brand new game. Like I'm gonna go become Valorant number like when that's not really it. Like it's more so you just gotta tweak things, like small things, or just
yeah,
like
yeah.
layer in new things. So you kind of I guess hinted at your thought process behind that. I guess what is next? I feel like you've been kind of dabbling in what might be the IRL space, and I know that I think deep down inside you probably feel that way. Like you could be successful doing that too.
Yeah, yeah. I do love the IRL streaming. So obviously that kind of kicked off going out clubbing in Sweden. When I had like 800 people, 1,000 people watching me go through the club, and it was so funny. Like you know,
What?
watching me drink and like I think these kids as well, like it's been COVID, and those who have turned 18 still haven't been to clubs. They have been now, but like everyone's been inside for a bit. Kids haven't been in a club, and they want to see like what goes on when you walk through them doors, and like there's like a table you can gamble at, and there's drinks and there's women, and they just love it on stream. So yeah, I do love the IRL streaming, and like I then booked another trip to Copenhagen and walked through, and I do really enjoy it. I see myself when I'm a bit more stable across everything, and everything's kind of running itself a bit more. I do see myself going abroad a bit more and doing a bit more IRL stuff, but it requires money. Yeah, that's pretty much it,
So
really.
like when you say stable, is that like how does that come to your mind? Like what is stability? Is that like, okay, I have an organization, let's just say sign me, so now I have like an income that's coming in consistent. I know I'm gonna have that for a year, or like is it I got more sub now, maybe I can start trying new things. Like at what point for you, like what is that level of stability? Because everyone has a different level of like what is
Yeah,
comfortable, what is stable. Um
yeah. Well, so at the moment, I don't feel like I can take time off, right? Because I feel like obviously I'm on like a two-legged stool at the moment. I have a good Twitter and have a good Twitch. Do you know what I mean? And I'll be more stable when my YouTube is running itself, and I've got my TikTok's running itself, and then suddenly I have a big following and I'm relevant on all platforms, like like this kind of thing, like a big pool of people, and then go, you know what, this weekend instead of playing the solo tournament in Fortnite, I'm actually going to go to Marbella and go do a stream out there. Do you know what I mean? So that is probably what stability. Yeah, what stability is for me. Like I've got to remember, I've only got
Balance.
50,000 followers. Yeah, I've only got 50,000 followers, and in the grand scheme of things, that isn't that much on Twitch. So it isn't the time to start fucking around. You know what I mean? Like and doing. I do a few new things, but it's not like I can go away for a week. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, no, I agree, but I also want to rephrase this in another way just so that you understand how much value you have. You have 50,000 followers and you average, let's just say 400 or 500 concurrents. There are people with triple your numbers that still only average 400 or 500 concurrents or even less. And their problem was they thought you could like wait and wait and wait and get to the certain point instead of taking a risk. So I'm not necessarily saying that you need to just do it because you're not going to get to those points, but I will say that like a following is literally an arbitrary number. Trust me, as someone who's done 10 years, like I almost have 300,000 followers on Twitch. Now they don't mean anything. Like my concurrents are dead low because I don't stream anymore. But I've taken massive risks. I almost like exchanged my Twitch following for the businesses that I run now
Yeah,
and this platform that I'm on. But that's all due to risk and it's due to understanding the space. But it was also coming to the realization that s- like time value, how much time you have to put into your Twitch channel versus maintaining it and then to hit growth is insane. So you do have to weigh out, you know, how much you put in different areas. Um, and I will just tell you that it will never matter how much actual followers you have. It's more so I think your timing and you have to be wise with I guess your strategy and how you approach that timing to
yeah,
try new stuff.
Yeah,
yeah. No, that's good advice actually. Like I need to be gunning for the viewership rather than the followers. Then.
the other thing that I think is fascinating about you, Archie, like content is about a personality, but sometimes we forget about the person within the personality. And I just think that you do things, whether it's from your fitness to your education to even like the fact that you seem to have a pretty okay relationship with your parents. Obviously, not everyone always has access to all the same healthy habits, healthy structure. Like I didn't have that growing up with my parents, for instance, but I don't have any excuse to not work out like you. You know what I'm saying? You even are noting, hey, in the middle of a pandemic, while grinding on my Twitch channel, I'm still doing this. How much do you think your non-gaming disciplines and habits have to do with your success in esports and content creation?
Yeah, I think so much. Yeah, I think it's massive. Like how much that helps me. So like not like I can't just sit and stream all day and play Fortnite. I actually feel guilty. I have a horrible guilty, like a weight on my chest if I haven't trained. And like training allows me to kind of be really relaxed, really happy, which is actually important on stream. Like you cannot fake happiness. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you just cannot fake it on stream. Um, and like it's like training allowed me to be happy on stream. And then I can kind of take that and now I start streaming my training. And it gives me like a well-rounded brand. Like I'm not just a Fortnite player. You know, if Fortnite disappeared tomorrow, I still have, you know, I would still have a decent viewership on doing whatever I'm
Well,
doing.
you're more motivated to want to do all the other things that you're
Yeah,
doing. And when you
yeah,
go out and you're doing these things, like you, because I went to uni too, and it's like you don't want to miss, having a good time with your homies or meeting new people, going out because there's opportunities in that as well. So it's just like you said, finding a good balance, but also, having purpose and being motivated to, do one thing and then getting benefits from another thing out of
mm,
that.
yeah, yeah. And about the health side of it, and like you know how much, you know, I really don't think that you can be massively successful if you stay up till 5 in the morning smashing Red Bulls. And I think that a lot of people in this community, um, maybe if pro players, okay, fine, you know, they play Fortnite all day and that is a thing. But if you want to make it in streaming, you know, you have to be high energy. You have to do stuff outside of streaming hours. And if you just, you know, on the worst sleep schedule in the world, like, I mean, for me personally, if I don't sleep well, I don't work as hard. I'm not as motivated. I can't put as much effort into my streams. I want to make my streams earlier. So like, I'm in bed about 9:30 every day. Do you know what I mean? Like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Wow.
I'm like, right, let's get into bed. And
That's
like, yeah,
Business, you're
No, I
running
was just gonna say that I'm literally the same way. Like, if I so especially when I was doing full time streaming, like if I needed more sleep, like I gotta get more sleep, or I'm gonna like literally create like a trash product. Like this is not gonna be a fun stream. I'm gonna be grumpy, or you know what I mean. It's not gonna work out. I'm not gonna play well. That is totally underrated. That's like something that's so underrated. And that's one of the reasons why I know how important a schedule is, but I almost never guarantee the schedules. I was like, guys, I'm gonna go live when I go live, but trust me, when I'm live, I'm gonna be ready, right? Like mentally
yeah,
ready. Like I'm gonna be there. And even we all have those days where you just don't want to press that live button. You're like, bro, like, oh man, all right. But you got to psych
yeah,
yourself up. Like, nah, we're gonna grind this out. We're gonna get people are gonna tune in. It's gonna be a good day. We're gonna get some subs, right? Some donations, like whatever. Boom, you're gonna have a good time, and you make the best of it. And I
yeah,
think and I feel like the audience doesn't realize how important that is, like, just having those regulars that just show up for you, like, that's honestly, I'd say the motivation right there, because like, one person could change the momentum of the
yeah,
chat, and then all of a sudden you're having a good time,
Yep.
and I know it sounds stupid, but like, guys, like a $2 donation, it's not just like, here's $2. It's more like, damn, it's reassurance. It makes you
Yep.
feel good. It gets your
yeah,
adrenaline going from
yeah,
like a content
yeah,
perspective, and it could change everything. And people don't really realize that. So, like,
yeah.
like, do you find that in your community? And that's why I'm asking you or setting this up, because, like, do you have a community that kind of drives you that way? Like, do they show up for you and kind of like bring you that motivation?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Like one message in chat can change your entire day. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's not that you donated $2. It's that he could be bothered to go here's, you know, like to actually put the thing in and put his PayPal in and go here's $2, mate. Like, and people say nice things and it's just lovely. And it gives me motivation to go live and work out. It gives me motivation to try and do better in the tournaments because they love watching it, and it gives me motivation to also just do new things. Like you know, people ask a lot, Arch, when are you next going on holiday to stream? When are you next doing this? When are you next doing this? And yeah, like not you know, a good 50% of it is like you know motivation from my chat. You know, they're fantastic people who watch me on a daily basis, and they're so encouraging. And I am really exactly the same as all of them. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, well, you know, they give me advice as well, and like, and I try and tell them all to like tell me it straight. You know, don't bollocks me. Don't be nice. Like, if you know, tell me exactly like if I'm not working hard or if I'm not grinding, I have people in chat having a go at me. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, why are you not grinding? Why are you not playing this? Why are you not doing that? Come on, Arch. So they do keep me in check probably more than they think.
Well, that's really good. Well, listen, Arch, it has been, dude, it's been a fun conversation. It's your first podcast, man. How
Yeah,
you
mate.
feeling as we start to like kind of wrap it up? Is it what you expected?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love it. Yeah, I love speaking about how I got here, and yeah, I love it, mate. It's fantastic.
Well, listen, I think what you provided today for the community, for your own fan base, and like everyone tuned in was nothing short of exceptional. Like there was a lot of value that I'm sure people listening back are gonna just want to give a re-listen to. So for anyone that is inside the chat, guys, we will be uploading this onto YouTube in video form. But more importantly, we're gonna be posting this on our Fortnite podcast chain where you guys can listen to the whole entire audio quality as well if you guys want to do that. The Twitter is at Fortnite Podcast to check that out. Archie, anything else you want to get off your chest or talk about, or just anything before we start to wrap it up, brother?
Uh, well, no, I just want to say thank you for inviting me on, mate, and being the first person on here, mate. Like,
Yeah.
it's mad that you like actually want to. I mean, I don't know if you actually want to hear what I have to say, but like, like it's mad that people actually want to hear what I have to say, and it's nice to be able to kind of be in this position because probably am answering questions that I asked myself a year ago. Do you know what I mean? So if you're in that position,
Right.
if you've got 30 viewers, get to bed on time, make some content on TikTok, and stream consistently. Be funny, change it up. That's pretty much it. Do you know what I mean? That's my advice
Oh,
to everyone.
Great.
So yeah,
No,
but thank you so much.
it's perfectly said and honestly well executed. Let the people at home know where they can find you, man. Obviously, you mentioned in TikTok and all that good stuff. Like, what's your Twitter handle? What's your Twitch handle? Lay it out. Let them know.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty simple. Twitch.tv/Archie, mate. You can find me there. You can find all my socials there, but I stream every single day from about midday or 2 o'clock ish. Depends what I'm doing, if I'm in the gym and that. And you can find me there if you're interested, boys.
Super, super. DJ, my boy, let the people at home know where they can find you throughout the week.
Yo, DJR Love here, signing off. You can find me just at DJR Love. Type that in, all one word. You already know it's about spreading that love. Archie, I really appreciate you. I am a newer fan of you as of, I don't know, it's probably been about five or 6 months now. So yeah, man, just to see you grow and be able to connect the dots and make this podcast happen, and you being the first guest. Uh, I'm gonna hold that for a long time, and I really appreciate that. And I know there's a lot of value people are gonna get out of this. So, can't thank you enough, bro. Thank you.
And then of course, John, my boy, let the people at home know where they can find you. Shout out to John, guys, pressing all the buttons, making sure the stream's working, all that good stuff. John, go ahead.
Yeah, John W. Key Rush on Twitter. That's the main place. That's the main move. Working with Monster and Practice Server, building my commentating and casting career. That's the vibes. And so I'll kick it over, and I'll always throw my support to the Twitch streamer legends like Archie. Those who are grinding that, I love to be a wind in the sails and have your back, my guy. This is a very, very, very good conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Another thank you to Archie. And as always, guys, you can send all your complaints to me at the Fortnite podcast at gmail.com. We'll get through them. Thank you to everyone that tuned in today in the live. And this was just again the beginning of our features here on the podcast. Archie, you were an awesome, awesome person to interview just to get to hear your story, where you come from, but most importantly, how knowledgeable you are, how much you've managed to learn and pick up in the space and continue to apply it. So just want to again leave you with words of encouragement. Continue to do just that. Keep grinding it. You're definitely on the right track. That's super sick. Guys, at MonsterDface, I'm tuned out of here. Y'all already know where to catch me. FNCS is around the corner. Hopefully, we'll be up there casting on the mic as usual. We'll continue to drop dope episodes, push the podcast, make content. Because, like Archie said, it's all about consistency. And one thing that we are is consistent. We do
Yeah.
everything. So check me out at MonsterDface, see what I'm up to. There's always something new on there. And until next time, don't forget to dance out those kills and boast in those victory royales.